Good evening folks, welcome to Curiosities of Staffordshire. Again, it's been a while, in fact probably over a year since the last video, but we're still here, we're still going, every now and again, whenever we've got time. Today you join us standing on the edge of the Roman village of Letocetum, at least I think that's how it's pronounced, my Latin's not brilliant, but it is actually located in the present day town stroke little village of Wall, just outside Lichfield in Staffordshire. And before me you can see the ruins of what would have been the little Roman town. In the distance, right at the back, you can see what would have been essentially a multi-purpose sports complex. I guess it's got a bathhouse, a changing room, a gymnasium of sorts, and the structure you can see in the foreground is actually a Roman mansion, the foundations of which are remarkably intact, seeing as they've been here for some 2,000 years. The noise you can hear in the background is the A5, as it's now known, which for all intents and purposes is the same road that the Romans built nearly 2,000 years ago, which they called Watling Street. Like I said, the route is largely unaltered to this day, apart from like modern logistical problems and that to widen the road and all that, but even the old Roman bits can still be seen as like sort of smaller side streets to this day. So we'll go in, we'll take a look around and have a look at the information signs at each stage, which have got artistic representations of what the place may have looked like back in the day. So what we're looking at now is the foundations of the mansion. As you can see, it's quite a sizable structure. So here we are standing looking into the courtyard. Yes, this would have been sort of the central meeting area of the house, which may or may not have had a roof over it. As you can see, even the walls of the house were built with some thickness. This part, or so it's believed, wasn't really a defensive structure as such. The main Roman fort would have been up on the hill, just past where the church was. This was really more of the sort of living area and sort of main bit of the town. So here we are now standing looking into what was in essence the gym, I guess, or the exercise hall. It's probably the first gym I've been into for quite a long time. It's quite a nice little space, and right next door there is the bathhouse for relaxing afterwards. So here we are in the changing room. Makes sense before you go into the bathhouse, which is over there. And here we are looking at the bathhouse itself, which would have been a heated room, a very humid space, much like I guess similar to a Turkish bath, rather smaller on scale than the famous ones at Bath and places like that, but still a very, very nice and well preserved example. If we just turn towards the church where the old Roman fort would have stood, one more interesting fact to share. That church was worked on by a team of architects, one of which would actually go on to be very famous, and that man was named Giles Gilbert Scott, who worked on projects such as Liverpool Cathedral, and most famously probably designed the vintage red telephone box that England's so well known for these days. And he worked on that very church right there. Which is one more claim to fame of this little village. These days Wall is rather more small than it would have been in its Roman heyday. I guess the A5 is somewhat diminished in importance compared to how much of a central pillar to the Roman Empire in Britain it was at the time, and this would have been a well garrisoned fort along the way and a thriving little market town. These days it's a small village, since been taken over by the